Hi, this is Stacy with Limelight AZ. This video is actually in response to Slice of Lyme. For their video that they did earlier this week, they had asked the question what kind of therapy or protocol you were doing, and I had responded saying I was doing bee venom therapy, and then they had said that they wanted a little bit more information, so that's what this video is for. One of my biggest symptoms for Lyme is my hands. They're swollen and they don't work very well and they hurt a lot. So I thought doing a video response would be better than trying to type it all out. So here goes. Okay, so apothecary, which is the use of bee venom for various medicinal reasons, has been around for thousands of years. However, bee venom therapy for Lyme disease has only been around for recent history. Ellie Lobel, who is the person who discovered bee venom therapy for Lyme disease, became a scientist when she was 18, subsequently got Lyme disease, lived with it for 15 years, and found herself at death's door, and moved and then was going for a walk with her end-of-life caretaker in California when she was stung by a whole bunch of bees. She thought she was going to die from it. She obviously didn't. Her brain fog from the Lyme ended up lifting, and she was able to think straight not long after getting stung by all of the bees, and realized that the venom somehow was having a positive effect on her recovery from Lyme. So she started practicing to come up with the therapy that is now used by Lyme people, and I believe that took 2 to 3 years for her to figure out a protocol that she thought would work, and has now been trying to tell people about bee venom therapy for Lyme disease. Down in the description, I will post a link for the original video from Slice of Lyme, Ellie Lobel's story, as well as a link to the bee venom therapy group on Facebook for Lyme disease. So if you want more information on bee venom therapy, then that's the place to go. Okay, so basics of bee venom therapy are that you get stung by bees 3 times a week, and then the other 4 days you use for detox. So it would be sting, don't sting, sting, don't sting, sting, don't sting, don't sting, and then starting a new week over. My days for stinging are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The other days are my detox day. That leaves Saturday and Sunday together for my detox day, which works out well since my husband does not work on Saturdays and Sundays. The goal is to get up to 10 stings. All stings are along the spine. The goal is to get up to 10 stings, and you start out with just a testing, and then you get yourself a little bit at a time up to those 10 stings. So you go from 1 sting to 2 sting to 3 sting over the course of several weeks. You don't bump up more than, I believe it's 1 sting per week. And you base it off of how you're feeling. So if you are really sick because your herxing so bad, then you want to stick at the same sting level until your body levels out a little bit. So once you're at the 10 stings, then that is the therapy dose, and you do that for a total of 2 to 3 years. So I am currently at 19 weeks, and I've been at 10 stings now for, I believe it's 8 weeks. I believe it was at 11 weeks that I was at the 10 sting level. So I'm still somewhat new to this. I don't see a lot happening yet. I was bedridden prior to starting bee venom therapy. I've not chosen any other therapies prior to choosing bee venom therapy. So this is my first stop, hopefully my last. And so the therapy, so far for me, the biggest thing I've seen it do is clear up the brain fog. So that happened pretty quickly. Physically, I've declined in comparison to when I began. Like I said, I was bedridden prior to starting bee venom therapy, but at that point I was able to get to the bathroom and take showers and whatnot. I was already in decline prior to starting the bee venom therapy, so it wasn't due to the bee venom therapy that caused me to be exclusively bedridden, but I think that was just the natural progress of where my body was headed. And once I got to the 10 stings, I was already exclusively bedridden, so I wasn't even at a therapy dosage when I became like what I call extra bedridden. So currently I'm still bedridden, and am not getting out of bed. My husband is helping me sit up occasionally through the week, and as you can see, I shaved my head because I can't get to the shower to take care of my hair. So that was something that we chose to do yesterday because we're not sure how long I will be bedridden for. And hair care is one less thing that I can have to affect me. So we went ahead and went with it. Anyways, so far it's not affecting, bee venom therapy is not affecting me getting out of bed on an immediate note. However, I am currently undergoing what I believe is the first of the ebb flow situation. With bee venom therapy, you will go through an ebb flow situation. So you'll be feeling okay or feeling well, and then you'll start hitting a period where you're just not feeling very good and your symptoms are increasing, and sometimes they actually get worse. And it'll do that quite often through the first year. And then by the second year, it does it less frequently. And third year, you pretty much should not see it too much. Since I'm still somewhat early into bee venom therapy, this is the first time I'm seeing that increase of symptoms after the initial symptoms went away. They weren't gone completely, but they had subsided considerably. Well, I've had an increase of symptoms now. For instance, my body aches a little bit more. My hands are more stiff. The one thing I have not seen decrease is my brain fog, so I'm thankful for that. Time will tell whether or not bee venom actually works for me, but I'm excited about it. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. I am doing updates weekly to give people an idea of the process of going through it. And I think that is about all. I think that pretty much covers everything. I touched base on how bee venom began, the protocol. Oh, I wanted to talk about supplements. So, like Slice of Lyme has at the beginning of their videos, generally people who are fighting Lyme disease with a protocol have an abundance of supplements and medications that they're taking. That's just to be maintaining a somewhat semblance of life, This therapy has very little that is required. Actually, the only thing required is vitamin C and B's. So the other stuff is all extra. I personally do vitamin C, multivitamin, vitamin D, yucca stock, and then yucca stock on my non-sting days, and then occasionally I'll do charcoal pills. I also have tinctures that I personally take advantage of for kidney, liver, lymphatic, and adrenals. Just occasionally. I don't do that weekly. When I start feeling like maybe I'm struggling a little bit with that area of my body, then I'll go ahead and use the supplements. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Keeping it simple is really stressed for this particular therapy. I know when I first started out, I was taking a whole bunch of supplements that were all things that were not in contradiction to bee venom therapy and other people had used, and it was too much for my body. I ended up getting really sick and then cutting out all of them except for the vitamin C, and then started taking a few supplements every week. I started adding a supplement. So I seem to have found myself in a nice little groove with the supplements that I'm taking. Oh, and the other thing I'm adding is magnesium. I do take magnesium. But otherwise, it's pretty simple in comparison to what most therapies are. And so I've been very, very thankful that that is the case, because I am honestly a person that is not very good with keeping on top of doing something every hour, every 2 hours, before lunch, after lunch. That would be far more complicated for me than what I'm used to. So having this very, very simple plan for the supplements has worked really well for me. That was one of the things that I really liked about bee venom therapy. The other thing I wanted to explain is why bee venom therapy is a little bit different. So bee venom actually immobilizes the spirochete and will attack it and go through its biofilms. There's no protection against bee venom therapy in any of its forms. So the bee venom can actually kill the spirochete in all of its forms and in all of its biofilms. And in addition, it also kills the co-infections. So this was one of the big things that I really liked about it. I like the simplicity of it, and I like the fact that it was a one-hit wonder for all of the different problems that comes along with Lyme disease. So that, and also the fact that I didn't have to go and pay a Lyme literate doctor hundreds to thousands of dollars a month so that I could see him and get supplements and medications, which is not at all possible for us. So being able to do this on my own has been a huge blessing, and so far I'm happy with the results. It is slow. It is very slow, but from what I understand, it's kind of like that with any of the therapies. Granted, I haven't experienced the other therapies, but it does seem that that's pretty much the process no matter what route you take. So personally, I am intending on sticking with this for at least 2 years and seeing how it goes. I am approaching half a year in, so I have another year and a half to see how I do. If you want more information, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can see my updates. There is a playlist called Updates, specifically for people who are interested in only the updates. So I think that's about it. If you've got any questions, be sure to ask at the bottom of my video, and or join the Lyme group, or the bee venom therapy for Lyme group. Anyways, I think that's about it. Have a good day.